You are listening to Heart Alignment, a podcast exploring nervous system healing, intimacy, emotional truth, and what it means to come back to yourself. Hello. So good to be back. Let's take a couple deep breaths together. Allow yourself to make some sounds when exhaling, if that feels right. It can really help the release of stuff that you no longer need to carry. Maybe you can allow yourself to sit down, lay down, and allow your body to get really heavy. To come into a state of full relaxation, where things can further be released out of your nervous system, and where you can draw in fresh forest, Canadian Rockies energy. Meant to wrap you up in a cozy blanket of unconditional love and acceptance. And if it is very hot where you're at right now, just imagine a cool cloth on your forehead or your neck. My goodness. Life will not stop lifing when you need it to stop. I read this beautiful essay, I think it was from Hemingway, where he described how life will just continue going on. If you are in a dark hole, if you are on the ground and you need a break, sometimes you will not be given a break. Sometimes you have to keep crawling until you can take a breath again. But sometimes life will just keep throwing difficult situations at you, and it will feel very hard to breathe. It will be hard to believe that things can turn around again at some point in your life. And I just want to, also keep things real here, because I thought of it, my last episode was pretty dark already. I don't want this one to be dark again. But it is simply the reality of my life right now. And if I was to start and try and perform something different, you would cut through my bullshit and not like it. Like it even less than if I talked about more darkness. And as always, I will try and do a really good job to label this episode correctly so that you can pick and choose your poison. No, your episode. So yeah, today I want to talk about very light topics such as TFMR, which is basically termination for medical reasons, and death, and also the joy of living, the joy of feeling alive. And those things are very closely tied together, because what I'm learning right now is to build my capacity for the complexity of life, the bigness of life, the chaos of life. I used to think that, like I said at the beginning, that we go through one thing after another, and sometimes we get a break in between, but sometimes we don't get a break in between, and things pile up, and then it can get really intense. And so when it comes to TFMR, which is, in my case, a termination of a pregnancy for medical reasons, which happened in November of 2025, it added, of course, a lot of grief to my life, losing a baby, but also a lot of shame. shame around having terminated a pregnancy and the doubt that maybe, it would have been an okay child, not too troubled, and maybe we could have, have a happy life together. But we decided that it is too much. We would not be able to give the child what is necessary, and we went ahead and had the termination of the pregnancy. So this sadness and grief plus shame was carried over into the new year, and a lot of coaches and a brilliant support team supported us through this time, until we then in April found out that my grandmother has terminal cancer. She must have had it for several months and years maybe, and now we are being faced with this diagnosis. So very disturbing news, as we're living together since 12 years on this little farm. A lot of sadness, a lot of anger towards I don't know what, but just feeling powerless and sad and helpless. And that combined with the grief, the loss, the shame of the pregnancy, termination of the previous year is just a very nasty combination of human feelings. And so why am I sharing this with you? I think I want to give you hope that sometimes we make decisions. Sometimes life has us experience all those very heavy feelings. And it is so crucial to reach out to your people and to come back to basics and understand that you can appreciate fresh water, you can appreciate your food, you can appreciate a car if you have one, you can appreciate all the friendships that you have. And it is your duty to do so in those times. You cannot let go of gratitude and appreciation. It is that which pulled me through this very intense time of grieving and experiencing loss, I want to say. To really come back to the basics and to be grateful for the things that we take for granted. And when it comes to your friendships, you will see very quickly who's on your team or who's not. And it might surprise you which people will come closer to you in times of despair and deep, deep grief and sadness and disturbance, and which people will leave you, maybe even full on ghost you or cut you out because they can't. Your state of mind and feelings just does not fit their life, or they do not have capacity to hold you, to guide you through this, or they don't have simple words that could feel comforting, which goes back to capacity. So it's very eye-opening to go through these very dark phases, and I know I'm meant to go through this human experience by experiencing these very dark moments. And I become more and more okay with this. But maybe you have never gone through such events, and maybe you will not in a long time, but maybe there is a person right now out there who maybe just recently shared with you that she or he are going through a tough time, and maybe you can use this episode to show compassion and show action, because this is another thing that I've learned, is that love is demonstrated through actions. Words, intentions do not count It is actions that count. It does not matter what the intention is, really, if the actions are right, feel comforting and good, you are doing the right thing. And I'll leave it at that. Because some people told me, months later, oh, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. Sometimes you don't need to say anything, but you can just drop off some food or flowers, or just send a message and say, I'm here with you. I sit in this with you, and you're not alone. And then, give a sign, a little action that the person really knows that they are not alone. It's very, very important that we become more sensitive and compassionate with each other when it comes to tough times. A lot of people choose to not share and suffer in silence because they do not believe that there is somebody out there who can hold the grief, who can listen. But you can be the one, and you do not be a psychologist, a counselor, or a coach. You can just allow people to express themselves. You can exchange hugs if that feels right. You can send them a little gift, and then you make a whole lot of a difference already. I receive flowers from people that are not really in my life, and it just changed how I believe in humanity. That's how powerful little actions are. And so I want to invite you to become an action taker, an advocate of love and compassion. And death. You will maybe never experience someone dying that you truly love, but it changed me to experience death so closely. It changed me in a way that not only did it humble me and made me aware how much of a gift it is when you are not in physical, emotional, or mental pain, but also how important connections are, and to nurture your friendships and to share your love and appreciation with the people that you care. There is never enough of that. And at the end of life, all that counts is that you show and express your love through actions and genuine conversations. Because that is how you can make sure that either the other person dies in peace or you die in peace, and nothing else counts. It also made me aware how much the body is steering the wheel of our life. And so often, if not always, we are caught up in the head, in the ego, and we want to get our way. We want to get our needs met. We want to fulfill our dreams. Head, head, head. But if the body collapses, if you get sick, if you start experiencing pain, if you start suffering on not even only a physical level, but emotional level or mental level, everything changes. Your character changes. The way you view the world changes. And so maybe take this episode also as a call for making your body and his needs first in the most nurturing, loving ways, and ask for forgiveness if you have mistreated your body, judged your body, not liked your body. Right? Some people struggle with eating disorders, and I know my eating disorder journey started when I was 17, 18, and it's still part of my life. Not in a way that it controls my life, but it's still there. But I love my body today. I understood by going through this process of my loved one dying that the body is everything. And if we do not start treating our bodies as if they are everything, then we will pay the bills at the end of our life. And sometimes we also do everything and we still end up sick. Because it's not only about, a healthy lifestyle and exercising on a regular, drinking enough water and eating nutritious foods. It's also how do you take care of your pain body, past pain, present pain? How do you take care of your emotional health and your mental health? How do you take care of your energetic body? To not become too esoteric, but do you have an energetic body? You exchange energy day in, day out with your environment, with the people you surround yourself with. So to be more picky with how you engage with life, how you relate to life and yourself and others, but most importantly, how you engage with your body and your emotions and your conditioning, your thoughts, your beliefs. It all affects your health. And so for me, it is a very active process of releasing this shame from my TFMR to releasing regret, to process the grief, to sit in the sadness, to not wish it away, but to understand that I can alchemize the sadness. I can turn it into something beautiful. I do not need to run away from it. It's part of me. I do not let it consume me. I don't let it, how do you say, identify me? No, I don't let it, identify me. I allow it to flow through me. I do not try to hold it back. I'm not scared of those enormous, gigantic feelings. And it is a very important path to be on. Because if I do not do the work now, it will catch up with me later. If I don't integrate these parts and make them feel welcome, then they will haunt me. And so, this is me, raw, unfiltered as a human being, hopefully supporting you on your journey, having you understand that you're not alone. And this is also a big part of being a trauma-informed sex, love, and relationship coach, is to learn to hold it all, to understand that things are not mutually exclusive. I can feel deep sadness and despair and can still feel my sensual and sexual body. I can feel love and compassion and joy, and I can feel shame and regret. To build that capacity is essential to a life that feels rich, and a mind that feels content, and a body that feels nurtured. To understand that I can allow myself to laugh out loud, even though I'm in a deep state of grieving. I can feel sexual, even though I feel great shame. It all goes together and it all deserves a voice. And if you can find people out there who are excited and happy to meet all those parts, keep those people close to you. I'm going to leave you with that. And I want to wish you a good rest of your day or a good night. With so much love and care. Until next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If this episode spoke to something real inside of you, you can follow the podcast, share it with someone you love, or explore more at auroraegertcoaching.com. Take a deep breath. I'll see you in the next episode.